Hi guys, welcome to my tarot channel. Please look at the timestamps below so that you can find an individual reading for Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn. There's a collective message at the end. If you are new, welcome to my channel. Please check the description box below so you can learn about how I do my readings and about me. And to all those who celebrate, happy holidays. Hello Aries, let's see what the tarot wants to tell you for the coming few weeks. For Aries, my Aries gang. I hope these messages find you well, Aries. All right, so the first thing that came out is the Five of Cups, kind of covered by the Four of Swords. So I feel like we're moving away from maybe feelings of maybe a little bit of depression, a little bit of sadness. It could kind of just be that pressure of it being like holiday season for a lot of us out there, where it's like we're supposed to feel great and electric and cheery and ho 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 and all that, and you're just kind of like, ugh, like I'm just not there. Like it's not that I don't want to be, but you know, maybe you're going through some stuff and it's maybe it's heavier, maybe it's taking a toll on your mind, on your brain, on your body. It could just be kind of exhaustion, feeling a little bit burnt out, end of the year type thing. But then we go right into the Four of Swords. So I take this to mean either you need to focus more on your rest, but for a lot of you, I think the universe is sort of not just encouraging, but sort of congratulating you for understanding that your body is trying to tell you something and that taking extra time to rest isn't a bad thing. It's actually very much needed. There's some expression that I've seen going around, which is very true, which is like, rest isn't something that you earn. It's something that's like required in order to perform and be a functioning human being. So don't look at it as, you know, taking time out to relax or rest or sleep or meditate. It's not like you have to schedule that in. Like it is like that's a given, but I guess you don't need to feel bad about it or that you're not being productive. It's absolutely essential to you right now, especially if you're going through something that's a little bit heavy. Allow yourself to grieve, but with that, just allow your mind, body, energy to rest. Then we have the Seven of Wands here. So then I actually like this because then there's this Aries very fighter spirit that comes back, right? We have the Seven of Wands. It's that fiery energy with the wands. I believe it's a Leo card. So it is about sort of stepping out and recognizing that you are very strong. You are very capable. You know, you got dragons to slay. You got battles to be won. So after some very much earned and due rest, if you will, it doesn't mean that you're going to kind of be stuck in this lethargic kind of foggy state for long, because there's something that ends up really getting you kind of stoked and motivated and inspired to go out and kick some ass. But it's both, right? You understand that there needs to be a balance of both here. And then you have the Nine of Cups. So like, what a beautiful way to like end this little story. It's like, I'm almost wanting to say, instead of possibly resorting to old patterns or storylines where maybe, you know, when you were feeling some type of way emotionally and it was uncomfortable, maybe it was your gut impulse or reaction to like not acknowledge those emotions and move past it, almost, you know, kind of pretend it doesn't exist a little bit, right? You know, I don't mean to offend, but I sort of get that maybe that was something you did in the past, but now you're starting to recognize like, ooh, I'm getting triggered. So rather than running from it, I need to be a little bit more analytical about it, or if I can't do that, maybe just like hold space for it. And I know that's kind of like a heady term, but embracing that there's, you know, there's peaks and valleys, there's strikes and gutters, there's going to be days that aren't the best, but you know, rest assured, things do change here. With the Seven of Wands, something gets you stoked and amped and excited. Let's talk about that a little bit more. Something gets you out of bed feeling like, you know what, today is a new day. That very much feels like what the message here is for Aries. And then I almost get that this is a separate energy. It's like something good is in store for you. And maybe it's a person, maybe this is a romantic reading, maybe it's a job opportunity, I'm not sure, but let's talk about what is this sort of shift in I will say like maybe perception or perspective, which is interesting because we don't have a lot of sword energy here, but your rest is really valid right now in terms of helping bring clarity and peace of mind. And with that, your mind is operating at a higher capacity with more clarity. That sleep, that energizing, it's going to be useful, obviously, right? we all need good sleep, but especially you right now, Aries. Four of Pentacles. Something that maybe you are holding back on or not feeling ready to move forward with. It's like you've kind of been focused on your own stability and groundedness. Absolutely. Keep doing that. And I guess what I'm trying to say is like, you're going to know when the time is right. So whatever this thing is that you feel like very motivated and struck by, like, okay, today's a new day. I'm going to make it my all, it feels like this isn't necessarily a new idea, but maybe you have a new approach to it, or a new door has opened that's giving you a little bit more confidence to move about, or maybe there's a little bit more ease in how you're going to move forward, but it feels very inspired. It feels very empowered. It may have to do with a job opportunity and money. It may also have to do with value and self-worth. I have to be honest, the first thing I got from this was almost like feeling like mourning the loss of a relationship or somebody that was in your life. And just feeling like, it's Christmas, it's the holidays, or maybe it's not where you are, right? But for a lot of people out there, it's the holidays. And it's like, I don't want to be alone anymore. And like, it feels very like secluded, hermit mode. And that's all a matter of perspective, right? For some of you, there's a relief and there's a comfort in, kind of cutting your own path and not necessarily being attached or committed to anything. But for a lot of you out there, it felt like you saw or felt potential in something, but for one reason or another, it didn't necessarily work out. So it's like, take time, gather your strength, but then it's like, you know what? There's plenty of fish in the sea. And I know that sounds a little bit cheesy, but that's really what I do get from this. And it's like, why would I minimize myself to try and fit into that person's life, or, their perception of me, or how I'm supposed to be in a relationship, or, kind of that thing of like, why would I want to be with someone who maybe doesn't want to be with me? That's a heavy question, right? It's complicated. That can kind of get in the way of us moving forward. But whatever this little epiphany is, or this newfound inspiration, it feels good. And I will say there's more of a risk-taking element of, I'm going to put myself out there again. And I mean, that's it, right? If this is a love reading, when you move forward in love and you're dating and this and that, you do kind of risk getting your heart broken. That's the scary part of it. That's also, the thrilling part of it, right? But I mean, keep in mind, you have this 9 of Cups here. So 9 of Cups is the wish fulfillment card. So I almost think that the universe has a gift for you, or rewards you, or gives you sort of a token at the end of this, small narrative or small storyline, almost as like an acknowledgement to your strength and power to pull yourself up from this fog, this haze, this little depression, and get back out there and kick ass. And I don't mean to say that you have to do it all yourself and that no one's here loving you and supporting you, but there is something about being able to recognize when kind of you're maybe swinging in that direction of feeling blue or down in the dumps and being like, nope, like I'm going to end that there. Like, this is happening and I can't control it, and I am feeling these things, but also, maybe it's gratitude. It's like, I have all these things going for me, or really it's like, I got bigger fish to fry. I got other things I'm focused on. So I can't let this situation, this person, whatever, kind of drag me into this negativity. Tell me a little bit more about the 9 of Cups. I'll take one more card. Please, Spirit, for Aries. Any hints or clues about what this 9 of Cups could be? I think some of you are just putting yourself back out in terms of like dating or connecting with new people. But look, your card came up, the Emperor. I love that. So yeah, I mean, the Emperor to me is always a really good career card. It is a card of focusing on the self, right? Mars energy. You guys are ruled by planet Mars. So again, being kind of like your badass self, picking yourself up by your bootstraps, or whatever cheesy expression you want to use. Allowing yourself to be yourself unapologetically and not trying to mold or change or transform to, again, fit any other lifestyle or person's agenda or whatever it is. And I think some of you are starting to realize that you weren't necessarily shining your brightest light with whatever this is, because I don't know. There was like blocking. I'm almost getting like this metaphor of like a candle, right? It's shining its light and then there's hands around it. So it's feeling a little bit suffocated. It's not able to thrive and grow the way it's supposed to. Like, you're meant for bigger or better things. And so by staying in this situation, you're never going to miss out on what is meant for you, but it was delaying it. So I almost think that may be a source of empowerment. It's like, the longer I linger in this shoulda, coulda, woulda, or focus on what could have been, I'm delaying sort of my future and my destiny, and what's actually meant for me is trying to come in. So know that, but it's like self-love, really. That's really what it is for you, Aries. We'll get a random oracle card here. I'm just totally pulling it random from the Inner Compass deck. Let's see what word, keyword, equality. To promote and experience a life where I and others experience equal status, rights, and opportunities. I value the feeling of sameness with others and or being at the same level and being seen as having the same level of quality. Love that. Let's see, what else do we want to do for Aries? I'm going to give you one of these. Little phrase or saying that Aries can take with them after this reading. Every day is another chance. I love that. Yes, tomorrow is a better day. Tomorrow is a new day. This kind of came out. A good laugh and a long sleep will cure all. Oh, Aries, I love that. I'm giving you like a big energetic hug. I think you need it. Self-care is going to be important for you right now, especially as we enter Capricorn season, right? That is a time that, you know, just by default of where the zodiac signs lie, that's a tricky time for some Aries because it squares you, right? It's going to challenge you. It's going to agitate you, but it's going to nudge you in a way where you start making those changes and adjustments. Really, that's what the squares do. It's like we have to kind of adjust or, you know, find some sort of solution based on maybe a circumstance that isn't the most comfortable. But again, it's busting you out of the shell to bring in your destiny. For those who are interested in dating, it's possible another Aries may come through. Especially for those interested in male partnership, there could be a very self-aware person who enters your life in the dating realm, who has, you know, good vibes and good energy, and has a lot to give with the Emperor, but also knows who they are. You know, there isn't this sort of need to fake, or there's great authenticity, I think, that comes with the Emperor. So an authentic relationship may be coming in, or again, something with a career where maybe you didn't feel worthy enough, or because maybe you lack some self-love or didn't value yourself, didn't have boundaries, you weren't in a good place to go after like your long-term dreams or goals. That may change. And I'm not saying overnight you're like, oh my God, I feel great about myself. Like, of course not. It's a process. But with the Four of Pentacles, there's safety and stability, but and that's good. I like that. Like, it's a great card it's a jumping off point card. But I also think that, you know, true to my Aries out there who are going to relate to this, like, there needs to be a little bit of fire. There needs to be a little bit of fun and excitement and risk taking. And I think that's what's in store for you. And I would say it really pays off, whatever this is. So take time to heal, but know that good things are coming. Hello, Cancer gang. Let's see what the tarot wants to tell you for the coming few weeks. I hope these messages find you well, Cancer. For Cancers, Cancer. Ooh, that popped right out. Ace of Swords, right out. Okay. So the first message, it's funny how they kind of came out in pairs. I'm totally going to read into that because I think that's important. The first message that comes out for you, Cancer, is that holding back on a conversation or a decision and then moving forward with one or speaking out. For some of you, it could be that you're in a place where you're just sort of drawing healthier boundaries and not allowing extra energies and people into your life. If that's your scenario, that seems to look really good. I like the Ace of Swords. Others of you, it's funny, I'm hearing waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, it's like anticipating that something's going to happen. I almost think that you're in a position where you have to say something and stand up for what you believe in, or just communicate what you're thinking and feeling, even though maybe it's coming from a place of uncertainty in terms of how it will be received. That's potentially one message going on here, but it goes from 2 to 1. So whatever this decision or conversation where it's like, I kind of have to process it internally before I come out to speak, there is action, there is movement, there is progress there, but give yourself the time to kind of get comfortable. I also get comfortable with what you want to say, what you want to do, how you want to respond. I feel like it's an important message for some of you to hear that you don't need to give yourself a timeline in terms of when you owe, I wanted to say when you owe this person your communication. You can process what's going on and you get to determine when you're going to share what you have to share if you indeed want to. And I mean, maybe for some of you, it's better left unsaid. I don't think that's the majority for most of you, but if that's the case, I could also see this as kind of having this inner deliberation of how I'm going to move forward in this. I'm going to say dilemma. It's neither negative or positive. It's a dilemma of some sort. For some of you, it's like, I'm going to feel best about myself and my actions and my intentions if I take this course of action. And so by simply with the sword energy, processing it on a more cerebral mental level before you maybe emotionally react or react and act in any way, there's more peace and clarity that comes with it. I mean, you guys probably know any ace is lucky. It's like a new beginning. It's something good. And I always consider the Ace of Swords like a victory. So take time to think this through properly, but it's a win for you. You handle it well, or you will handle it well. Or even if the conversation you have is uncomfortable, I think at the end of it, you're going to feel good that you did it. Even if the results differ from what you were hoping or anticipating, there's peace of mind there. So I actually do really like that. But again, take time. There's no pressure. You do you, Cancer. That's a very important message there. And then you have the Seven of Wands. I think Aries had this card as well. I just did their reading before yours. And then you have the Nine of Wands. Interesting. So I don't know if these are related. The first thing I get from this is sort of like a bullying dynamic. Seven of Wands is... It's not typically this, but in this scenario, because of how these cards are interacting, I'm almost wanting to say someone's picking a fight and someone's feeling very like frightened or scared or insecure. There's like a weird power dynamic going on here. And so I don't know if this is in family or if this is a romantic relationship. I kind of want to keep going because these feel disjointed to me. I'm not sure if this is the same scenario. But I'm wondering if I should pull cards on that. Let me take a peek at these before we do. And then you have the Seven of Pentacles and the Four of Swords. Okay, so whatever this is, there's definitely two different energies. There's two different people. I suppose it could be you in a situation, but that's a bit of a stretch for me. This feels like people going at it, going against each other. Whatever transpires here initially, these two do break bread. In some capacity with the Seven of Pentacles, after some assessment, I don't know why I'm getting this, but this almost feels like an apology and like, let's try and do it better. Or I was out of line, or I overstepped my bounds, or I shouldn't have said that thing. I'm going to be honest, for 99% of you, Cancer, you're the one who takes the brunt of someone else's hostility, or someone does something that's just kind of like not cool. Okay, I'm starting to see how this factors in. And so I think initially you're, again, overwhelmed or intimidated, and you're in this very specific scenario. I'm not saying this is what all of you do, but there's this sort of, I'm gonna like go back into my crab shell because like I don't know what to do or how to react, and like it's like you're in safety mode. I want to be clear, I'm not getting like abuse type stuff. Like it's not something very severe where I'm like, you need to get out of here. For most of you, take it as it resonates, but this feels very much like an argument with like a spouse or a peer or a colleague where you feel very attacked. You feel like very vulnerable. Maybe you did, mess something up and, it's scary to own it, but someone's calling you on it. But the way they're doing it, it's also not they're not practicing good emotional intelligence. They're stressed out about their own life, about their own kids, about this and that. And they come at you like, Cancer, these reports are all wrong and blah, 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 blah. Like, that's just a scenario here. And like, yeah, it's just like you instantly turn into like this little child. You're like, oh my God, like I messed up, and like totally internalizing it. I don't know why these came out in the reverse order, but that makes sense to me, is that, yeah, this is mad awkward. And I think as much as some of you are regretting, like stewing in it a little bit, like afterwards, like, oh, I should have said that, or, I should have come back at them, or I shouldn't have been a doormat, or I should have stood up for myself. You handled it the way you were supposed to, given this scenario. And so in time, you're going to open up the channels of communication open up the channels of communication here and be like, hey, we need to talk. Or, you know what, like I did mess that up, but just so you know, here's why, and blah, blah, blah. Or, I'm sorry this happened. I'm going to fix it. But also, can we talk about how you addressed me? Because that made me feel, very belittled, or whatever it is. And then it comes down to like Seven of Pentacles. It's like there's some assessment, but really there's adjustment with earthy energy. There's potential here. There's something we can build on, but these two energies have to come together. And it almost feels like a scenario where you're being forced, or maybe not forced, but you're being challenged to work with someone who maybe has very different ideas or very different opinion or a very different upbringing, a very different lifestyle, whatever it is. And I don't know, with the Four of Swords at the end of the day, I think you can sleep peacefully knowing that you did the right thing, and or at minimum taking away sort of the lessons from it of, you know what, I could have fired back and said the things that were on my mind, and I could have matched their energy of being a bully, but I didn't. I took it. But with that, I'm also cathartically working through it in my mind that just because they spoke, said that thing to me, that has a lot more to do with them than it does what they actually think of me. And ultimately, like, what they think of me is not really my concern or none of my business. So it's like, I did what I thought was right. I didn't mean to screw anything up. And maybe you didn't, Cancer. I'm just giving you scenarios because I definitely sort of get like this shaking child, sort of like, oh my God. Like, and maybe this is quite literally you having a fight with your child or you coming down on them because they did something wrong or vice versa. There's definitely like sort of a frightened, scared, almost like a deer energy, like a deer in the woods. It's like high alert because it's like, something isn't right. My safety is being threatened or do you know what I mean? And yeah, I think in the moment you retreat to your crab shell, and with time you're sort of going to process it emotionally first. That's going to feel yucky for sure. I'm telling you guys this, but then you're going to be able to sort of think about it and work your way through it in a more like logical, again, mental energy, cerebral type stuff. And again, for most of you, I'm not saying all of you are going to like this person, but you're going to be able to approach it in a new way. And I do think this person, feels bad for how they treated you. I do definitely get that. And the thing is, like, there's something very hopeful here. Like, it's the dead cold, it's winter, right? And yet there's a little bud springing up. So it's almost like this thing that doesn't make sense. Like, how did we go from this scenario to like, oh my gosh, look what we did together. This is kind of cool. But this feels like a gift from the universe in that it's something or someone that it's really going to challenge you. It's really going to needle you and nudge you, but it's to get you to a place where maybe you do learn to stick up for yourself. Maybe you do speak up even if your voice shakes. It's that kind of like getting comfortable with energies that they're challenging you to become the best version of yourself or to evolve into something more, anything more, right? You're not meant to stay the exact same person. And for some of you, there's a sensitive point here, right? Maybe this person kind of talking down to you in like a demeaning way. Maybe it's bringing up, trauma from family issues or whatever. And so it's triggering you and challenging you in a way where the universe is trying to get you to see something. And so it's what you do with that that's going to make a world of difference. For some of you, there's just this ability to no longer take accountability for other people's emotions, drawing better boundary lines of, you know what, I sleep well at night because I'm accountable for what I do and what I say, not what everybody else does. And with that, just knowing that, it makes your interactions with this person, this thing, the situation so much easier. I know this is a little bit vague. It's a little bit vague to me too, but I actually really do like it. But it's not like this ease of like, oh, what a beautiful week. Like there's absolutely a challenge here. I'm kind of wanting to pull a little bit more on it and see. I don't know if this is a romantic relationship. Maybe you're fighting with your partner this week. I don't know. May I ask, like, what is the challenge between them? Like, what is this like argument or this quarrel or this confrontation about? Two of Cups. Interesting. So a difference in what you find value and importance in, or a romantic connection? I don't know. Okay, it could be maybe jealousy. That I could totally see that, especially if it's with a long-term partner. It could be that someone's jealous that you're friends with someone at work and they feel very like isolated, or that you have this great group of friends and they don't, or maybe you guys are on different pages romantically. Maybe there's just a disagreement in what you want in terms of long-term future goals. I don't know, the Two of Cups is typically romance. So if you're already in it and you're not thinking like divorce, it's just like a disagreement where I think this person is feeling very threatened and vulnerable, but the way they show it is completely different to you. Like, you feel threatened and vulnerable because of this conversation and you shut down. They feel threatened and vulnerable because of something else and they're like lashing out. And I don't think it's warranted, to be clear. I do think this person is in the wrong. But I also think that you are given the gift of time in terms of being able to process what happened and then approach it in a more logical, tactful, having more equilibrium and balance as you approach this person to fix it. And the thing is, I think you do. Like, again, like, you sleep peacefully at night knowing that you did your best given this kind of unusual, awkward scenario. So I actually really like this, Cancer. I kind of hope you guys do too. My deck's upside down. And so maybe this is upside down. Maybe it's not. It doesn't really matter. I think it came out the way it was supposed to. But yeah, I think these people essentially need to work together, right? That's kind of demonstrated here twice. But the way they're approaching it, it's not working. And so it's almost like we got to empty the cup out and try again. So maybe this comes back around again. The Seven of Pentacles. The Ten of Wands. Yeah, make sure you're not giving your value away. Make sure you're not giving your time, your energy, your mental health away to things that don't support you. Well, never give your mental health away, right? You know what I mean by that. But make sure you're choosing wisely what battles you're willing to fight and what is not worth your time. I think that's really important with the Seven of Wands too. Is this worth the weight of the load? Is this worth the ultimate burden that it may sort of incite in this relationship? I do think there's reason to celebrate at the end of this, and maybe it's personal accomplishment. Maybe it's a celebration that, you know what, I do value myself and I let this person know that that's not okay with me, and maybe that was a really big step for you. Yeah, because it seems burdensome to have to carry that around and to just always take it, right? To always be the person who's there for everybody else or whatever the circumstance was. It's like, am I happy? Am I happy in how I'm interacting with this person, this place, this situation? And how much better could it be? And how do I get there? How do I get myself to a point where I feel comfortable speaking my truth? And I think the King of Swords is frequently a card of like, I might not win the popularity contest for what I'm going to say, but what I'm going to say is important and y'all need to hear it. Like, that's very King of Swords. He's going to ruffle some feathers because, you know, ultimately he's doing what's right for the people. It's not really a selfish energy. It's like Saturn. In order to maintain boundaries, in order to control whatever it is that we're doing here, like there needs to be some sense of law and order, agreements, you know, contracts, however you want to say it. King of Swords is like, nope, we're not going to do that anymore. Like, we need to address it because, like, you haven't been respecting my values. And then there's clarity that comes with it, though. So, like, it does end well, but yeah, it's like a bit of an awkward hump or awkward period, however you want to say it. We'll pull one of these little advice for Cancer. I don't see tons of arcana here, so possibly air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Taurus. Doesn't have to be, just naming some. Let's see. The well-behaved rarely make history. Oh my God, I love that for you, Cancer. Yes, I'm going to put that right next to the King of Swords. The King of Swords, it's Uranian. It's Aquarian energy. He shakes things up. He wakes people up. He shows them what they don't necessarily want to see. But, you know, I don't know. Well-behaved people rarely make history. I love that. I love that for this reading. If you want something you've never had, you've got to do something you've never done. Love that. I'm going to put that next to your Ace of Swords. And last but not least, like a little keyword, I'm just pulling these at random. This deck is too big to shuffle. Reputation. To have a positive reputation. For people to hold a good and or high opinion about me, typically as a result of social evaluation on a set of criteria, such as my character, behavior, or performance. To be held in favorable repute by the community or public. So yeah, again, the idea of shaking things up and stepping out of your comfort zone to say or do something that needs to be said, potentially life-changing. And really it comes down to like respect, self-respect, and you know, how you treat yourself informs others on how it's okay to treat you. So need I say more, right? All right, Cancer. Thanks so much. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. Thanks, guys. All right, for Libra. What wants to come through for Libra? All right. So the Page of Swords, the Three of Wands, and the Tower. Interesting. The first thing I kind of got from this was possibly holding back on a message. Or, okay, really what I think it is I think it's waiting for a message to be returned. I'm not sure which you are. I'm sort of getting the vibe that maybe you sent out a message or put out a job application and now kind of you're waiting to see what's up. Maybe you reached out to someone you're interested in romantically, or maybe you had a truce with a sibling or a family member. And then the Tower. All right. This is such a weird message I'm getting from this, but usually the Tower is like shock and eruption and, you know, things kind of going to shit ultimately to like clear space for what's actually meant to be. I almost get the sense that you're causing the Tower and you kind of know it. And I don't think there's anything malicious about it, but now you're kind of standing back to watch the fireworks, if that makes any sense. It's like Cancer had maybe a similar message, a little bit less intense than yours, but like sort of the idea of, okay, like I know I need to say something, and there's a little bit of apprehension, I think, because you view yourself as Page is like childlike energy, so view yourself as like immature or maybe not having the right, the authority, the whatever to say the thing. But ultimately, it's like you need to say it. I'm almost getting like the idea in terms of like clearing your karma or feeling okay about the situation, yourself, the person involved. It's like you have to say something, but it is going to poke the bear, and you know it. It's taking some bravery and some courage. So you finally step forward to do it. But I don't know if I mean this literally or metaphorically, but you know, like once you step forward and say the thing or submit the thing, it's like your bags are packed. You're kind of like, almost like, I got to be ready to make a quick exit. And maybe this is beautiful. Maybe this is by submitting for that dream job. You're like, it's going to require me to, uproot myself and move my whole life across the country. Or, it could be something like that. But it's like, this could be huge. Or the idea of if you finally say what you need to say to that person, this is going to change everything. Like maybe if it's that secret crush and you finally profess your love, you're kind of like, well, if I say this and it doesn't go well, I'm going to have to distance myself. And so they're, not, in my heart, in my mind, et cetera, et cetera. Or it could be that, you say something that it's going to ruffle some feathers. Maybe you finally tell your parents, your sibling, your whatever, that, this isn't cool with me anymore, and I'm doing X, Y, and Z, so that's not going to happen. And you're kind of waiting for them to be like, what? What do you mean, Libra? You're not going to be the same person you've always been. What do you mean you're going to take power and control over your own life? That's what we do for you. Like it's that I just getting this, like, I'm going to watch the fireworks explode, but from a distance. So yeah, there's a couple storylines coming through, but I hope you're getting the general message here. I don't even know what to ask. I mean, what do we need to clarify here? I'm intrigued by the Tower, but again, it's going to be a little bit different for everyone. So in general, what do we need to know about this Tower? The Seven of Pentacles. So it's been a long time coming, and it's starting to sprout out from the ground now. So it's like this was working its way through the ethers, internally it was working its way through you, the messaging, the communication, the idea, but now it's starting to spring up. It's actually starting to become a reality that not only could this happen, it will happen, and you're making it happen, if that makes sense. You are the initiator, you are the catalyst. And I mean, that makes sense. You're a cardinal sign, Libra. This card has come up a couple times. I think Cancer had this one as well. It's funny, I've mentioned Cancer twice, so I'm wondering if maybe there's a Cancer involved. Maybe it has to do with a mother figure, your own child, I don't know. And then the Hermit. All right, I think some of you may be leaving a relationship behind. Possibly because you feel like you're involved with someone who treats you like a child, or who doesn't see your value and your worth, like they belittle you, or they don't see you as the strong, capable person that you are. And so there could just be like, this feels very like I send them a text that, hey, by the way, like I moved out. And then you're like, oh shit. Like, and the thing is, I don't think you're looking for trouble, but it's like you knew you had to do it in a way that was protective of your energy. And there's a little bit of a bracing of yourself in terms of sort of the aftermath, or again, watching the fireworks from afar. I don't think that your safety is in danger or threatened. I think it's just like, that you've sort of drawn a line in the sand, and it's really going to shake things up. And it goes from the Seven of Pentacles, it's like nurturing and wanting to work with something, to the Hermit, where it's like, I might be better off doing this on my own. And again, if it's not a relationship, maybe this is just like a job, a partnership. Maybe you're giving notice and you've been a loyal employee to this company for X amount of years, and it's almost like, if that's the case, for a fact they're going to be lost without you. It's like, nobody can do my job because like I built it from the ground up. It feels very like Hermit, maybe you're going the more entrepreneurial route, or you're doing something independent. Maybe you're severing off a relationship, or you just don't see potential for growth the way you used to. I'm always getting the idea of something is stunting your growth. Does that make any sense? And for some of you, that's almost like a literal message in terms of your body. You may be consuming or eating something that actually isn't good for you. And maybe it's not stunting your growth, but it's something where it's not helping you, have the healthiest body or whatever. So there may be sort of this walking away, again, this severing of, saying goodbye to a certain lifestyle. I could totally see that. Like the Three of Wands in metaphor could be very adventurous. It's like, I know something big is to come, and even though I don't have all the answers, it's like the ships are literally coming in. You can see them, right? This is the card of like, my ships are coming in. Frequently it's a card of waiting, but I don't know. I think it's like you've already pulled the trigger. You've already jumped. And now it's just like you're waiting to feel that, what do you call it? Your parachute. You're waiting to feel that parachute kind of take hold of you and kind of, guide you or move you through the universe from here. Interesting. I do like the energy, but it feels very, not in a bad way, it feels very out of character for you. It feels like you've done something very different, very alternative, very unexpected to what you would usually do, and it's really going to shake things up. But good for you, Libra. It feels like you're coming from a place of clarity, and it feels like you're coming from a place of self-worth, so I really like that. Six of Cups. Oh, I love it. This is like offering a gift to yourself. It's almost like... I think the more I look at the Six of Cups, it always reminds me of sort of that like psychology exercise where it's like, treat yourself with self-love, but also nourish the inner child inside of you. Think of you as like, a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old. What is that child yearning for? What do they desperately need? Where are they not being heard or nurtured or taken care of? It's like stepping in to offer yourself that gift, going back and rewriting history in terms of your own narrative and development. And if it's not rewriting history, it's understanding that things happened a certain way and then course correcting. And ultimately staying in this, again, something about it was impeding your growth. It wasn't allowing you to thrive. Some of you are drawing healthier boundary lines between you and your family. So maybe for the first time, some of you aren't getting together with your family for the holidays because it just doesn't do anything good for you. And so you're anticipating them kind of being crazy and you're like, yeah, I'm taking myself on vacation. Like it feels very just like, in a good way. I don't know if Libra is going to interpret this, but it feels like very much like, two middle fingers up in the air at just like anything that isn't bringing you peace. It's just like, peace, I'm out. Like, I'm good. Six of Cups means like the decision feels really nice. It feels really good. It's like giving yourself a gift. For those who are exiting a relationship, because again, it doesn't feel like it was a good fit for you for one reason or another. Again, I agree based on what this tarot reading is saying. You may connect with someone from your past. Some energy in here may or may not have to do with a Virgo as well, with the Hermit energy. You keep that in mind. But yeah, there could be a romantic relationship or a friendship from the past that comes back around. And offers a little something. I think I would give it a chance to, I would give it a chance to grow and develop organically. Page of Pentacles, it's not like Cinderella story overnight, but there's far more potential in this thing. And it does involve going back to the past usually with the Six of Cups. So for a lot of you, going back to the past for something and maybe growing it in a new way, reviving it, breathing new life into it so that it is different. It matches your energy on where you're at now. But it's almost like there may have been a relationship in your past where it didn't work out for some reason or another because very likely both of you weren't in a place to receive the kind of love that you wanted or weren't able to match or give the kind of love that this person wanted to give you. Likely to do with self-worth issues, right? But it's like, this is the dawning of a new day. This feels big. This feels like, watch me world. It's like a coming out of sorts, like a proclamation or a sort of, watch me shine. Here's my light. I like it. It feels very empowered, but it also feels very light and like you're choosing you for a change. And the sun, oh my God, so beautiful. Love that. So possibly some Leo energy. My gut reaction is like, this doesn't mean the holidays this does not mean that the holidays are going to be lonely just because you're drawing boundaries. If anything, I think they're going to be more lush and fruitful, and it feels really good. It feels really warm. Again, honoring that inner child. Some of you may be interested in, this is going to sound clunky the way I phrase it, but having more presence in your life involving children. So maybe you want to be a teacher. Maybe you're going to adopt a child. Maybe you are a new aunt or uncle and you're like, you know what? Like, I want to be in this child's life because something is very healthy and cathartic about being immersed in sort of childlike energy. So yes, it can be your own inner child, fuel that, do the creative thing, do the Leo stuff, the energy, but yeah, for others of you, it's like being around children is very healthy and cathartic right now. It's very pleasing. It's good for your energy. Libra, I kind of dig this. Anything else Libra needs to know, especially if they're looking for like new love? Again, the storyline from the past, something that it wasn't able to come together the way it was supposed to, but again, you've changed. You've done a lot of work, and so there's potential here for this to really change into something beautiful. Double Leo energy. I feel like the universe is like, I already told you it's a Leo for some of you, right? For some of you. I feel like I called you Virgo earlier. I'm sorry if I did Libra, but it's because of this card. There's a couple signs coming through. And the Magician. Yeah, manifestation of a new beginning. I'm also sort of getting Sagittarius or possibly another Libra here. But look, it's like he's taking the stage. It's like everything else is below him. Like he or she, you know, whoever, it's like they know their value and their worth, and like they're going to let themselves shine and not edit themselves or make themselves small or conform to fit or mold other people's idea of who they should be. And I think for a lot of you, that's a very welcome change. I like that a lot. All right, let's get you a little inspirational phrase, something that you can take with you from this reading. Don't let the fear of losing outweigh the excitement of winning. And then I am important. Well, yeah, you know that. You know that. And then these are just little keywords. It's a new deck I haven't used too much, so I'm just pulling at random. Professionalism. Let's see. To practice an activity in a professional way rather than in an immature way. In an amateur way. To demonstrate great competence and skill. To perform a job by high standards. To work and behave in such a way that others think of me as excellent, competent, reliable, and respectful. I don't really question that for my Libras out there. I think you guys are probably one of the most professional signs out there. I'm going to pull one more for you. Anything else Libra needs to hear? For Libra. Safety. To have a sense of security. To be safe and feel safe and secure. To be and feel protected from or unlikely to cause danger, risk, harm, or injury. I don't know. Maybe that's going to speak to some of you out there. I don't know. I'm still feeling out this new deck. It's called the Inner Compass deck. So maybe that's going to ring true for some of you. Thanks for joining me today, Libra. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. Take care, guys. Hello, Capricorns. Let's see what the tarot has to tell you for the coming couple weeks. Happy holidays to those who are celebrating. Capricorn. What does Capricorn need to hear? Wheel of Fortune. Hell yeah, that's a good way to start. Straight to the devil. Interesting. We'll see. We'll see. Strength, 7 of Cups, and the Star. I feel like that feels like a storyline to me, so we'll see. So the Wheel of Fortune to the devil. Let's see. Honestly, like, that message off the bat to me seems like facing your fear ends in positive results. And I know that's a little bit kind of vague. I want to look at this before I speak. Hold on. Strength, 7 of Cups. Oh, Capricorn, are you ready for this? It's a little bit cheesy, but it's a good message. But I think you're just going to roll your eyes. Like, it kind of sounds like a Hallmark movie. It feels like you tackle a fear of yours, something that you were afraid to do. You move forward with it, and it feels like, wow, this is great. And it, like, totally brightens your day, and your energy is really positive and bouncing all around the place. And there's something about giving back here, too, where it feels like because you're kind of coming off this personal high of an accomplishment, it's almost like you're passing on that energetic vibe to those around you, and equally like they're feeling inspired and they're feeling like they can conquer the world. And like, I'm not sure why you need to hear that in the tarot this week. Maybe you just need a pat on the back to say like, hey, you're doing a heck of a job. Like, give yourself credit. Don't be so hard on yourself. Yeah, maybe you're coming off of a recent high and you're trying to like catch that feeling again, and you're like, oh, it's just not coming together the way it did. It will again, but yeah, I think the universe is saying like, bask in it, like celebrate it, do something to celebrate your accomplishments and recognize you did something pretty cool recently. I can say that without a doubt. And for those who are interested in giving back or volunteering, I mean, it's the holidays, so that makes sense. But in general, I don't just mean for the holidays. I mean something as a lifestyle choice or change. There's something you get back out of giving of your time, your energy, your resources, things that you have, your talents, abilities, something that comes very easily to you. Sharing those gifts with others, even through the form of like teaching or offering a mentorship or coaching session or something like that. It literally feels like people feel inspired by your light and your positivity, and then they're taking that and being like, well, what should I do with myself? And like I know, like I said, it's a little bit cheesy, but I actually really like the message. It feels very like it feels very deep and emotional, of like you have a far greater impact on the world and the people around you, the communities, that you even recognize. It's like a domino effect or a butterfly effect. It's like one simple act from you creates like this chain or this effect that's just like, it's really effing cool. The star, all the people are seeing your star in the sky and they're feeling like, oh my gosh, if Capricorn can do that, maybe I can too. Very strong teacher vibes. So if that's not literal for all of you, I don't know, maybe it has to do with being put in a position where there's a lot of attention and a lot of eyes on you. And so I almost want to say, like, you have the mic, you have the stage, however you want to say it. So like, use it well. Don't waste that opportunity, because this could be very, very impactful in ways that you might not even see. But I almost get the idea that this may come back to you later. Okay. In some sort of scenario, this may even happen to you in the coming weeks, where something maybe you even possibly did like years ago. Again, it was like this good karma. It's like you were very selfless and giving and just did something because it made you feel good and it felt right and you were happy to help. There may be someone who enters your life with sort of this praise and admiration and ultimately gratitude, because without you even knowing, you help pull them out of a very difficult spot. And again, not for everybody, super specific. For some of you, there was someone who was struggling with addiction or substance abuse issues. And so if that's something that you've demonstrated or conquered, or, maybe you posted something like, whatever, 10 years sober on your thing, someone else is going to come up to you and again, congratulate, praise or whatever, but also be like, you inspired me. Like, it actually is a really cool message, Capricorn. Again, not for everybody, but that just seems really badass. It's like, own it, own how awesome you are, because other people are noticing. If it's not addiction issues, it has to do with facing our fears, things that really like scare the shit out of us, things that like we want to do with our lives, our goals, our long-term plans and achievements. It's like, what keeps us stuck? Usually it's us. Usually it's like that inner critic, or that, oh, well, someone else has already done it, or, oh, I'm not perfect, so why bother? When you kind of bust out of that inner critic or self-criticism and you go and do the thing, and not only that, do it well, and also make it accessible to others. Really good energy, good karma, good things come from that, but you make it accessible in a way where you're not, it's almost like there isn't this competition about it. It's like, hey, I can do this, so it's almost like, let me share with you how I did. Very sort of like a life coach mentorship type energy. There isn't this like puppy guarding. Do you guys know what that term is? Apparently, I was recently told that that's not a term most people use. That was something like we grew up saying very much. It's like when you hosey something or you claim it to be yours and it's very protective. It's like, I'm puppy guarding it. Like, you can't touch it. This is mine. It's not that energy at all. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Let me show you how I did it. Amazing, amazing energy. All right, and then the Hermit. Yeah, so you're off down a new spiritual path. You're setting yourself up for good karma or good reward in the future. And for some of you, that's coming in now. It has something to do with something that happened years ago. I don't know why I'm getting 5 years ago. 5 years ago is a very significant time for someone else in your life to be impacted by you and your actions. And it may come back around and this person may reintroduce themselves into your life. I don't know if it's romantic, to be honest. I'm not necessarily getting that. It's not to say it couldn't be. But it's just kind of like this, wow, the world works in really mysterious ways that we don't always understand. But you start to get like this wider picture, this greater picture of the impact you had on something or someone in your life. I'm going to switch decks. Ace of Pentacles, yeah. I don't know why I'm hearing this because it doesn't really fit. But you know that phrase, no good deed goes unpunished? I'm almost getting like the opposite. A good deed that you did very selflessly with no expectation of getting something back from it, you get something back. And I'm not saying it's $1 million. I'm not saying it's, public recognition and fame. Maybe it is for a select few of you, but like something really good comes from a circumstance or just like an accidental happenstance. The Lovers, all right. The universe is like, don't say it isn't romantic. It might be. Sorry. In terms of major arcana, I definitely have Leo and Capricorn here, so it could be a fellow Capricorn. Maybe Gemini. Wheel of Fortune, I associate strongly with Sagittarius. It could be Pisces. And then you have the Hermit, which is frequently Virgo energy. So you got a lot of people showing up in your reading. So, even more impactful. Maybe many people were impacted. For some of you, if this isn't your story that maybe someone in your life who is retiring or going through sort of a change of life, and people are starting to step up and say all these like really nice things, almost like a tribute or I'm hearing memoriam. You know what I mean? I don't know if someone is like, I'm just getting through this idea of like a teacher who is retiring and all their fellow students reach out via email, or, you know, a video is composed of all their, you know, their legacy and their time in the classroom. Like, it feels really beautiful. Maybe it's you. Maybe this is your mentor, right? But something about it's very inspiring. All right. So tell me about this path that Capricorn is headed down. That High Priestess wanted to show up. I saw it at the bottom of my deck. I was like, we'll see. High Priestess, very intuitive. She's sometimes the secret keeper, but kind of like a holy vessel, very maternal, mothery, moon energy, Cancerian energy. She holds a lot of wisdom, but she doesn't necessarily speak it out loud. It's like an intuitive knowing. There's like silent communication with the High Priestess. Interesting, with the Ten of Swords. So what the heck is that? Now, I think this has to do with like an ego death. I think that's exactly what this is, which I don't know if I love that phrase, ego death, right? But the sun in Gemini, it's like the illumination of information that really changes you as a person. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but frequently when the Ten of Swords comes out, it's like something was revealed to you that really changed who you are or who you were as a person. And it is for the better, right? It's making space and you know, more room in your life for what's to come. But there is sometimes like an ego check because something you thought or believed to be true, the way you perceive something, it was kind of like, oh, that didn't go as expected. That being said, the Ten of Swords does not come out of nowhere. Like, it's a long time coming. It's a 10. I don't know if this is you, though. My gut reaction is like, I want to be careful. I don't want to give you a God complex, Capricorn, but it's almost like you were the savior to someone else without even realizing it. Again, like this profound impact. And like, I'm sorry, I'm grasping for new messages. I know we've said like this a lot. It's been redundant, but I almost think that you stepped in almost as this sort of like savior-like figure, offering some sort of like maternal energy to someone who was really struggling, who was really in need, and ultimately helped set them down a new path. That, you know, Wheel of Fortune for both of you. It was like there was a lot of growth and reward in going down a path or going down a road that seemed impossible at the time. You're starting to see the value of that, or all the good that has come from it. Maybe some of you out there have struggled with sobriety or addiction, or however you want to phrase it, something. Maybe it just has to do with self-worth, confidence, you know, loving yourself. Maybe it's something like that. But yeah, it's like this really cool domino effect. I don't know what else to do with this. It seems like actually a really positive message. I think maybe some of you just needed to hear it. So let's try for a new message. We'll see what comes up. Anything else that my Capricorns need to know in the coming weeks? Maybe something exciting or something that they need to be made aware of. Let's try and disconnect from this message. I keep seeing the cards, so I'm wanting to like, whoops. All right, we'll try for a new message. Are these cool? I just got them at a little crystal shop. I just think they're so neat. Anyway, distracting. All right, Capricorn. Any other messages for Capricorn before we wrap it up? We'll keep it short and sweet. Anything else they need to hear? Things are getting better. Things are getting better, and you sense it. They're getting really good. It's like intuitively you feel like things should be changing and shifting, and they're not, but they're just about to. So hang in there. King of Swords. Possibly an air sign. There could be a signing of a new contract. There could be some sort of new connection that is made. Again, very, I'm hearing the word intelligent. That's not what I was going to say, but I just lost my train of thought. Ugh. Yeah, okay, contracts. Intelligent, but what am I trying to say? I'm like grasping at it. It's like important communications that, again, are like quite profound and a little bit influential. Influential is the word I was trying to find instead of intelligent. Influential people coming into your life, having very important conversations, negotiations, signing contracts, giving you advice, wisdom, guidance, mentorship, or vice versa, you stepping into a role. Some of you may actually end up pursuing some sort of career where you give advice for a living. And do that with, maybe it's a tax advisor, right? It doesn't have to be like like life coach, like self-love, though a lot of you would be great at that. But yeah, others of you, it's like getting into some sort of new career or flourishing in some sort of area where you're able to reach out to the people and establish communities and networks that benefit from your wisdom, Capricorn. Really, really cool. For those who are looking for a partner romantically, it seems like you've had some duds. It's like you went on a date and it was just like you felt nothing, or you met up with someone and it just didn't go anywhere. It was almost like clearing out, decluttering your life to make room for something really good, because there could be a long-term partnership, contract, however you want to say. Definitely liking the air sign vibe right now, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, for those who are interested. And yeah, don't be so in your head about it. Enjoy it. Don't go in with expectations of who this person is and what they're supposed to be and how they're going to contribute to your life. Just go in as if you're meeting a business contact or connection. Like, okay, I'll keep you in mind. Thanks. Like, it's almost like, I'll take your business card. Thanks. Have a good day. That's always how you need to approach dating in the coming weeks. Just be very like open to what could be, but yeah, zero expectation. I think that would be good for you. And then you have this kind of like this little gift coming in. So have faith, have hope, Capricorn. For Capricorn, do what you can with what you have and where you are. I have lots of talents. One more. It's okay to feel however you feel. Feel all the feels, Capricorn. And then these are just random key phrases and words, sometimes things people need to hear. So this one is inner peace. To experience internal harmony and congruence, the absence of internal conflict, disturbance, irritation, pressures, stress, pain, noise, chaos, and strife. To be able to keep myself strong in the face of these things should I encounter them on the outside, so that I can experience mental, emotional, and physical serenity and calm. So inner peace is your key word. Remember that for the coming few weeks, but in life in general. All right, so let's get a collective message for my cardinal signs: Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. What's one message that they all need to hear? Dear you, there are times in life when taking a risk is better left for another day. Other times are perfect for taking that leap, no matter how dangerous it may seem. Well, hold on to your parachute strings, for today is leap time. Realize that no matter what, we will not let you fall, drown, get lost, or hurt yourself in any way on this one. Even if it may feel like you are in free fall, we are here for you, and you can stop freaking out about getting hurt and relax into this transition into something new. All the elements are in place, and your soul is ready for a new experience. No matter what you're asking about, it's time to take the risk and do the thing that scares you. No matter what happens, you will land softly, right on target. Don't worry about the outcome. Spirit's got that covered. It's taking the leap itself that is the point. We love your courage. Embrace it. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. Thanks for joining me. Again, happy holidays to those who are celebrating, and I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye.